Madam Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, thank you for coming. The big question is, now what? I've got the final interview. Now do I sit back and do I relax and do absolutely nothing until the day of the interview? If you really want this job, no, you do not want to do that. At this stage in the interview process, all candidates are baseline qualified. Okay, what does that mean? That means anybody else who's invited back to that final interview is already qualified like you are. You are the solution to their problem. Their problem is an internal one inside the company that prompted them to create a job description, which you applied for. Now you're the solution along with probably 3 other candidates who are qualified for the job. Seldomly do clients and companies actually hire the most qualified person at this stage because you're all qualified, right? So what do? They will and they do hire the person who is the best fit for the company. All right? We're on the same page? The interview, when you're interviewing with a company, it's time to look at it as a two-way street. You have got to interview them, and they are interviewing you. A lot of people don't think about it like this. The first 40, let's say it's a 45-minute interview, the first 30 minutes are spent on their asking you question after question after question. Then you've got the final 10 minutes, you get to ask them a question. And hopefully you've got the right question coming across the table. But you want to go to work and you want to get prepared. Can I ask everybody to stand up, please, and partner? Just grab a partner really quick. Tammy, can you grab Don? Good. Okay, and I'd like you to shake hands. Nice. Okay. Did you sit down? So at this stage, when I said that you need to be a good fit for the company, first impression is critical. Sometimes, and whether it's fair or not, that handshake is your first impression. Did that person shake your hand with what they call a limp noodle? If they did, does that sell well? Probably not. Did they look you in the eye? Eye contact, it exudes positivity and honesty. A firm handshake exudes confidence. And did the person smile at you? If you are trying to make a fit into that company, you want to smile. Why? Because that exudes friendliness. You want to be a part of that. Okay, so now how do I prepare? I first am going to go to the company's website. And I'm just going to go to Google, and I'm going to type the company's name on the search engine. And I'm just going to hit enter. And let me tell you, if it expands to like pages and pages and pages of things, you're going to want to read a little bit more about this company, right? Because if they're in the news and it's not all positive, do you want to work there? Know that. Then you want to look for the company's mission statement. Does the mission statement say, something that you can get behind? But then I always look for the values. The values are the behaviors that the company uses to get to their mission statement. So everybody in the company abides by the values. So when you get to the values, you want to start thinking about those interview questions. You want to start crafting some questions that you want to go back and ask during that interview. You want to confirm logistics, and how you're going to do that. A couple days before the interview, you're going to call the company. And you're going to say, can you tell me the address? Can you tell me who's interviewing with me? Can you give me the titles of these people who are interviewing with me? You want the titles so you can form questions to ask during the interview. You also want to talk about what to wear. And if you could just pass out the first 2 slides, yep. The one with just the two individuals is what I call the suit of armor. I always wear a suit of armor to an interview because that kind of protects you, protects them, so to speak. And there's do's and don'ts on the second page. What to bring to an interview. You're going to bring a pad and paper to an interview, and that pad and paper is going to just allow you to take notes. You don't want to take notes constantly during the interview. You just want to take those topics of discussion that you want to reiterate during your thank you note at the end of this interview. You also want to get to know your job description, the company needs. Can we display the two chart? This column here, what I do is I take my resume and I put it in a table. Next to it, I look at the job description and I find those job competencies that match my job description and my skills. And I line them up. And I make sure I understand that because that's the company's needs. I want to make sure I understand my resume and I go from top to bottom. And then I also want to talk about behavior skills. Yes, the STAR. STAR is an acronym that stands for S, situation, T, task, A, action, and R, results. In this day and age, a company is going to use a combination of two types of interview questions. One is situational, one is behavioral. Situational, our future. What happens if this situation happens? They want to know how you're going to handle that. A behavioral question is something that's in your past, and how are you going to talk about it? Hey, I see you got customer service focus. How would you handle an irate customer? They want to see how you handled it in the past. Now, STAR, and when you start thinking about it, those behavioral questions are not easily answered. So you use the STAR technique. You first detail the background with that situation. So keep STAR to your memory. Provide the content, the where, the when. The next item is the task. You go straight into describing the challenge, expectations, and what is needed and why. And then action, you elaborate on the action and what you did and do and what tools you used. And then the results. Explain the results, the accomplishments, recognitions, and any cost savings. And then at this point, I want you to know that I want you to prepare and to get that job. And right now, I will say good luck. Thank you.